You might remember last year we reported on a quite desperate situation at Hani Baragwanath Hospital in Soweto. Patients not being fed, doctors resorting to bringing in food to help them. Well, it seems the situation could have returned, at least in part. The Daily Maverick is reporting that a departmental head contacted their publication out of desperation last week because companies were refusing to deliver food due to non-payment. Reports suggest the food is being bought daily out of the hospital's petty cash reserves. There's no way to run a hospital. Let's find out what is going on. I'm joined now by Gauteng Health MEC Nomantu Nkomo-Ralehoko. MEC, thank you so much for your time. What is going on? What's happening?
Sally, this afternoon I was there at Bara because I wanted to check what's the situation. And I think, usually I go around in the institutions just to check if there are problems and the burning issues. But I went to Bara because of the allegations that you have seen in terms of the food shortage in the facility that we had. But when I arrived, at least the situation was not like that. And because I wanted to seek what's the situation from the CEO, she tried to explain to us what happened. And upon, because what we wanted to check, if there was a problem, why we were not aware of the problem. Then we had that management meeting with everyone analyzing the situation. And based on the report, one thing that we've picked up is the issue of contract management, that poor contract management in terms of timely escalating issues that are there, create the challenges. The second issue that we picked up is that at Bara, we don't have the cold storage that is big enough to accommodate our food that we are buying, that service providers should buy in large quantities. That was the issue that they gave me the report on. Then again, the other one is the capacity of our suppliers. Some of their suppliers that we've contracted them to ensure that they keep up with the demand in the facility. They are unable to do that in terms of the orders that they are receiving. And this includes appointing multiple suppliers instead of contracting one supplier for multiple items, which end up being able and they are unable to deliver. That was the reason of those that are having a problem of capacity. So I said, let me get what is the problem? Who is supposed to do what? So, but when I checked it then with the management in the canteen, the food was there because they were trying to, indeed, food was still there. But if we were not going to intervene, food was not going to be there in the next coming 3 days.
Yeah, so exactly. So it's been done on a sort of, sorry to jump in because you've raised so many important points around
you're correct. Yeah.
what's going
correct,
on.
Yeah.
So there is a problem. There definitely is a problem. Is it true that they're having to use petty cash to try and pay off suppliers who've not been paid? Is that happening?
No, it's not true. It's not true that they've used petty cash. We've paid the suppliers that were owing on the 20th of April, and the last payment was done to another supplier was the 25th of April. So suppliers have been paid all the monies that we paid. But again, what they were doing, one supplier will be given about many hospitals, including Bara. And then the supplier will say, at Bara, you owe me 1.5. And then in another hospital, you owe me 200 million. Just an example that I'm giving you, not at the exact amounts. But now the supplier will say, I'm not going to deliver at Bara. So Bara must suffer even if Bara has been paid or the supplier has been paid. So, but it's something that we have agreed that
are you
we need to correct that.
Are you saying the suppliers are the problem, or are you saying other hospitals are causing
exactly
a problem?
The problems that I gave you. No, the suppliers are a problem. The issue of capacity comes from the supplier.
But surely whoever appointed the suppliers has to answer as well. This is a massive hospital. There must be set in stone supply chains. How does this happen?
I agree with you. That's why today I've said to them, we are not going to link Bara with other hospitals. If you are supplying at Bara, you must supply at Bara only. Because once we add other additional hospitals, you don't have capacity. You are like Nomantu construction, which is doing that. I don't have capacity, but I'll provide Bara with about 10 items of food, and I'm unable to do that. But because I will not call the other words, I can say those words when I'm with you. But I don't say to people, I cannot perform. I'm unable to do this. I can't do this, I can't do that. You are not honest as a supplier. So we need those things to be put in place by the supplier that you are going to get.
Okay, I
Good
hear,
thing is that
yeah,
we will be having a meeting with the supplier so that we can sit down with them and clarify them how far we can move with them and the capacity so that all those things can be checked. And I'm not going to accuse and say, no, we find the supplier there. For the mere fact that the supplier now is end up with me, I must take responsibility, sir. But I must make sure that the food is there. So, but what we have done then, we had to immediately arrange that whatever we can have a shortage of, it must be replaced with immediate effect.
I hear you. So
Because
what
the
you're
issue
telling
of
me
money,
is that you've had
we
to do
don't
a quick workaround to try and get food into this hospital. You're going to have a meeting with contractors
Absolutely.
who you say are not
Yes.
necessarily being totally unfair, saying, well, you owe me this much from, say,
Yes.
Tembisa Hospital, so I'm not going to deliver for Barra either.
Yes.
The reality is, by now, one would imagine there are established good relationships with suppliers. The allegations are that suppliers are not getting paid. Also, this report in Daily Maverick is saying that the CFO in Gauteng Health is not signing off on supplier payments. Have you probed that? Have you figured out if that's a problem?
No, that one is not true. That one is not true. In fact, I will want that guy from Daily Maverick to tell us where did he get that, because it's not true. The acting CFO is the one that has stabilized that department, is the one that is paying suppliers on time now, is the one that has
All right.
stabilized the
So you
finances of the
absolutely refute.
department.
I hear you. You refute that. What I
That
want to
one
ask
is
you
not
is,
true.
how does this happen again? Because in March last year, things fell apart to such an extent at Baragwanath Hospital. The doctors were bringing in food for patients. That is a disgrace. How does this sort of thing happen again? I don't understand.
In fact, that's what I was saying to the team, that you want to repeat what you have done last year of the bread issue, and it's not going to happen under my nose. That is why I said I am here. It's not going to happen. Good thing is that I picked it up over the weekend when it was about to happen, and I've stopped it because already we've said they must follow the proper processes of RFQs now so that we can immediately organize food within the 5 days that we can be able to do that under RFQs. I wouldn't allow that environment that happened previously in any of the hospitals now. It's worse, Sally, when we have stabilized the finances. For the past 5 months when I'm in the department, my role was to make sure that all the wrong things that have happened, especially on the finances of that department, are stabilized. And I'm proud to say that in front of you, we have stabilized the finances in the Department of Health. We don't have a problem of cash flow. We do need money because health, anyway, you will need
I know.
money, but we've stabilized it.
We know it's not
That's
an
why I was
easy
saying
job.
at no
I have
stage
to ask you one
that has
final
been my
quick question
priority.
because it takes us back to the patient. Can you commit and promise to me this evening on the show that no patient at Baragwanath is going to go hungry from now on because of these problems?
I'm telling you, Sally, I want to commit on air and say no patient at Baragwanath will go hungry. As long as I'm still the MEC in that department, I will make sure that everything goes by the book. In fact, I don't know how many times that I've been at Baragwanath because I want to stop those things that have been happening before so that Baragwanath becomes like any other of the big hospitals that we have in the country, because this is the best hospital and the biggest hospital with the equipment that is proper, with the care and the good doctors, and I don't expect any short change of the patients that goes there. So that's what I want to commit to you, that anyone, any citizen that is not getting joy in Baragwanath, most of them now, they even knows my number because I even supply people with my direct number so that if they're experiencing problems, especially at Bara, they must come to me, because this is the institution that is not only servicing South Africans, we're servicing people from other countries that comes here and they get the care. And
Yeah.
we're not even complaining, Sally, about that, because we know that Bara is the only best ice cream in the African continent that we have.
Well,
Hence, we must make it shine ourselves.
I can hear that you're determined to sort this problem out. I thank you for your commitment. We'll be keeping an eye on this story, and let's hope that you get to the bottom of the problems around food and other supplies to Baragwanath Hospital. A commitment this evening from the Gauteng Health MEC Nomantu Nkomo-Ralehoko.